Hi everybody. Hello. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a few days since I posted a video. I've been slacking off the last few days. Uh, but yeah, I'm back. And figured this weekend there was that Disney Plus Day thing going on with a whole bunch of announcements. So I figured I'd give my thoughts on some of those announcements and clips and all that. So start with, there was a clip of the upcoming Ms. Marvel show, which is due out mid 2022, so middle of next year. I will say that is the show that I should be most excited for, but there's enough aspects of it that make me wary. Will say, Iman Vellani, she looks absolutely perfect as Ms. Marvel, as Kamala Khan. It's great seeing her in that Captain Marvel cosplay, that Captain Marvel costume. It looked homemade and wonderful, and yeah, I really liked that. The main thing that worries me about that show is the change to her powers. Because in the comics, she is essentially a shapeshifter. The main thing she does is like stretch, is the main way she uses her powers, to make herself bigger. So she'll like stretch herself out and she can sort of bend her body around attacks, and she likes making a giant fist. She can also make herself tiny, and she does have some actual shape-shifting abilities that almost never get used. But yeah, I mean, there's people much more appropriate than I who have gone into depth about why the change to her power is unfortunate from a storytelling perspective. The short version is a big part of her story early on is learning that she can be, basically learning that superheroes can be brown. Basically, because like she idolizes Carol Danvers, who is, you know, beautiful white blonde woman. And in fact, when Kamala first gets her powers, she actually shapeshifts into Carol Danvers for a little while. And then, the rest of that, and especially that first arc, but a little bit into the second arc as well, a big part of that is learning that, she can look like herself while being a superhero. So dropping that aspect of the story, which will have to be done. I mean, it's changing her power into energy constructs. You can't really do that same shapeshift story. And yeah, it's just a shame that they're changing her powers. It does make me a lot less excited for the show. One of the big things from Disney Plus Day was that brief clip from Moon Knight. Yeah. Hard to be upset about Oscar Isaac, right? Can't go wrong there. Although I do really wish they'd cast a Jewish actor, because in the comics, Moon Knight is Jewish. So I wish they cast a Jewish actor to play him. Moon Knight, for those who don't know, is basically Marvel's answer to Batman, except he has dissociative identity disorder. And is way more violent. He's a cool character, and has actually gotten way more interesting in recent years. I think starting with the Warren Ellis run. Who was it? is Warren Ellis, and who is the artist? Shelby, Declan Shalvey. Yeah, Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey. Moon Knight run was sort of a big shift for him. He got a new look, Mr. White, which was basically just him in a suit and his mask, and it looked badass. Obviously, I don't think they'll be doing that in this show. You never know. But yeah, so if you sort of want to catch up on Moon Knight as a character before the show, I'd recommend starting with the Warren Ellis, Declan Shalvey series. The current Moon Knight series seems to be pretty good as well, from what I'm hearing. It seems to be pretty great. Beyond that, there was also She-Hulk, and clip from that, and that looks really good. That's one that I'm really excited for, because She-Hulk's a fun character. She was created for copyright reasons. Like, literally, she was created so that Marvel would have the copyright on She-Hulk. So that was a Universal, I think, was doing the Hulk TV series back then, just to prevent Universal from creating a female Hulk and calling her She-Hulk, and they'd have the trademark. So it was purely a trademark thing. She was pretty interesting. Her original series was pretty cool. She was bulky. Bulkier than pretty much any other female hero you can think of. She did get very muscular, very thick when she hulked out. After that series ended, a little after that series ended, she joined the Avengers, and that was when she got her more familiar, sort of thinner look, more feminine look. Kinda wish there were that she was bulkier, because there aren't enough thick female heroes. I find it's always nice when there's a female hero who is bulky, the way that a lot of male heroes get to be. You know, like Hulk or Colossus or a lot of those other super strength based heroes. They get to be, bulky muscles on top of muscles. Women don't really get to be that. It'd be cool to see more who do. But a more a more feminine looking but still strong She-Hulk. Yeah, that's fine too. And Tatiana. What was it? Tatiana Maslany? Ooh, who's Canadian? Yeah, Tatiana Maslany. She looks like she'll do a good job. She looks like she'll be good as Jennifer Walters, which is always important. So, yeah, that show I'm really excited for. That might be one of the ones I'm most excited for. I am also really excited for Hawkeye. We got another clip from that show. What was like a 40-second clip from one of the episodes. Unsurprisingly, Haley Steinfeld looks absolutely perfect as Kate Bishop. I am so excited for her. She seems absolutely perfect. Utterly delightful. Clint Barton was always the least interesting character in the MCU. Which is a shame, because Hawkeye in the comics is really fun and charming, while in the movies he was so friggin' boring. But Haley Steinfeld, come on. And Florence Pugh showing up again as what's her name, Yelena Belova. Nice. Or White Widow. So she was really good. She was great in Black Widow, just an absolute scene stealer. So having her come back for Hawkeye, I'm pretty happy about that. probably the I think probably the announcement that got the most attention from Disney Plus Day is going to be X Men '97, continuation of the '90s X Men animated series, X Men the animated series. That is a wild. That is wild. Apparently, most of the original cast, voice cast, is going to be back, which awesome. I wonder if that. I'm curious if that means that the woman who voiced Rogue will also return, because right now she is kind of busy as uh, as a member of the Canadian Parliament. That's right, we got Rogue in our government. Hell yeah! Seriously, you should the woman who voiced Rogue is part of the Canadian government, which is just absolutely wonderful. So I'm wondering if she's going to be back for the series. They may need to replace her, and there were one or two actors who died. I think it was the guy who voiced Apocalypse. I think might have passed on. Not sure if anyone else has. But yeah, apparently most of the original voice cast is going to be back, which is really cool. And I am really curious to see what they do with the show. Like what stories they adapt, if there's going to be any new characters who become part of the permanent cast. So like if anyone's going to be swapped out or anything like that. Very, very curious about what's going to happen there. And I am very excited because I loved the X-Men 9 animated series. I grew up on that show. It is always going to be a deep part of me. A deep place in my heart, you know? So, really excited about that. We got a teaser image for Secret Invasion. Samuel L. Jackson with a thick beard. Which, okay, cool. I like the thick beard. We'll see how that story goes. Secret Invasion in the comics, it was about Skrulls infiltrating human society. I assume the comic will be similar, but we'll see how that goes. There was an announcement for Agatha, House of Agnes, or House of Harkness, sorry. Agatha, House of Harkness. That should be a lot of fun. Catherine Hahn is great. She's fantastic. She's phenomenal. And Agatha was a really compelling character. So, gonna be interesting to see what goes on with that. There were confirmations of What If Season 2. We'll see what comes out of that. We'll see what new stories they adapt. Loki Season 2 is already confirmed. We'll see what they do there. Echo. I think Echo was already confirmed beforehand, but we got a little bit more about it. I guess. Or not really. We got more confirmation of it. That's another one I'm really looking forward to. Echo is being played by Alaqua Cox, who is a deaf Indigenous woman, which is what Echo is in the comics. Echo in the comics is deaf and Indigenous. So I am so excited that they cast correctly for her. That is just fantastic news. They didn't cast someone who is, to pretend to be deaf. Charlie Cox was fantastic as Daredevil in the Netflix shows, but he's a seeing guy who is pretending to be blind, rather than a blind man. With Echo, they're going deaf woman, which is phenomenal. Great cast, great way to make it more authentic. I love when they try to make it authentic like that. So very happy about that. See, there was Marvel Zombies. We'll see what they do with that. I Am Groot. That should be lots of fun and very cute. Spider-Man Freshman Year was another announcement. That one apparently is going to be sort of a prequel series to when he first so it'll be covering sort of his early days as Spider-Man before he got uh, recruited by Tony Stark to go fight Captain America, which really weird choice, I gotta say. But yeah, I'll get to that some other time. I'll talk about that some other time. Yeah, so apparently it's going to be him, his freshman year of high school, because we are not allowed to get a college aged or adult Spider-Man anymore in any adaptations. All right, so the Spider-Man PS4 game did have an adult Spider-Man, but yeah, it's weird. Like his high school years were such a brief period in the comics. Like he was something like 30 issues or so in the comics that he was in high school. Might have been a little bit more than that, but not much more. He was barely in high school in the comics, and then like every adaptation now has to be Spider-Man in high school, Spider-Man in high school, Spider-Man in high school. So ever since the 90 ever since the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, they just cannot let Peter Parker grow the hell up. But whatever, I'm sure it'll be a reasonable fun show. And there was also further confirmation of Ironheart, and that's one I'm looking forward to. I really like Ironheart as a character in the comics. She didn't start off great. Written by Brian Michael Bendis. It was really rough for a while there. When she got a solo series written by Eve Ewing, that was when she really took off, I found. That was when she really solidified as a great character who's worth reading. And Dominique Thorne, I guess, is going to be playing Riri Williams, Ironheart. I'm sure she'll do a great job. And beyond that, there was a little bit of stuff about Obi-Wan Kenobi. Should be fun, I guess. Announcement of a new Willow series. I never watched the original Willow, and I'm not sure if I'll even bother watching this Willow, but I did really like the announcement video of Warwick Davis talking to the new cast and just being really rude and dismissive of them. It was really funny. Warwick Davis is hilarious, which I did not know. But yeah, clearly Warwick Davis is absolutely hilarious. Announcement of a new Baymax TV show. Baymax from Big Hero 6, which I still have to finish watching. I still have to finish that series. I'll get around to it. That should be a fun series. Apparently there's going to be a Rescue Rangers movie, which is new. I think I've mentioned this before, mostly in live. I've mentioned this before in lives. I know I've mentioned it in lives, but Gadget from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, I think, was my first crush. Which is probably a weird thing to admit, but I don't know. I liked her. Because she was the smart one, you know. She was the smart one of the group, and I like the smart characters. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how that movie goes. And and then Disney is also continuing its never-ending live action movie adaptations with Pinocchio. I guess Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Keegan-Michael Key are the ones announced, or the cast announced so far. Meh. Live action Pinocchio. Meh. Whatever. Basically means heavily CGI Pinocchio. Because that's what those live action movies pretty much are. Some like a couple live action characters or a couple live action actors and then a whole lot of CGI for everyone else. So, I guess in this case, there's really only two major characters who will need to be CGI. Pinocchio and I assume Keegan-Michael Key, I assume, will probably play Jiminy Cricket. One thing I'll say is if Disney just completely reuses the script for the animated Pinocchio, bad luck. They've done it with other movies. They've done it with some of the other live-action adaptations, and it is bullshit because it's them. It's Disney just working to avoid having to pay screenwriters. That's entirely the reason that they reuse those old scripts for like Lion King and Aladdin. It's Disney is incredibly fucking cheap. They are terrible. Honestly, Disney is just unconscionably terrible towards creators, especially the people who write Disney projects. And yeah, they definitely need to have more pressure put on them to actually pay their goddamn workers. But that's a rant for another video, I guess. Which I probably won't do it. But it's a rant for another time. There's people who've written and talked pretty deeply about Disney's treatment of workers. For now, yeah, I mean, that's sort of the stuff I took away. There were a couple other announcements that really didn't matter to me. Ooh, cars. Yippee. But beyond that, yeah, it's some pretty cool, some pretty good clips from a couple of the upcoming Marvel shows. And X-Men 97, that's wild. That is, I'm super excited about that. But for now, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.